sad news.
Oh, yes. It has been 2 days since he has seen her because went out to find a nice flower and then came back and, well, that didn't quite work out like he thought it was gonna, and that's fine. And he's gotta go clean himself out, have a good cry for a bit, and go and talk to her because he doesn't want things to be awkward at the tea party. She'll be like, "Oh, you two are dating," and so I'll be like, "No, not really. Don't worry about it." So that's what's gonna happen, and also make sure that she, gotten like the flower.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to her door, or would she find him again in the greenhouse in the afternoon?
Um, Probably in the greenhouse.
Wonderful. Come in. Oh, got to stop meeting like this, Adastra. So it's been 2 days, so I guess it's not really meeting like this, is it? Then
Um, I suppose so.
did you happen to get the flower I left for you?
Flower?
Oh yes, I happened to leave it outside your door, actually.
I haven't been to my room in a small bit.
Well, surprise! I found it for you. I went out to the woods for a bit and found a very nice kind of rare flower, and I brought it back for you. Hopefully it's still okay when you get back to the door. I would be a little disappointed if it wasn't. But if not, well, that is how the cookie seems to be crumbling today. So he gives a little shrug.
Is your cookie doing all right, Nyris?
Oh, it's a crumbled, but I mean, I'll put it back together, mush it back into a shape that's, Irish shaped, and that'll be good for me, I think.
Is it what you want, Nyris?
Well, for me, yes, it's always good for me to be Irish shaped, really, even if the cookie is a bit crumbled.
But is that what you want, Nyris?
Well, yeah, for me, yeah. I seem to have, well, well, it's certainly my fault at the very least. I got a little wrapped up in some things in my head, and really, it came to the unfortunate conclusion that, uh, well, I don't really have a sweetie anymore. It's really my fault for it. And so I said, we shouldn't be in a relationship, and Tony was very understanding about it, really.
Would you care to tell me what happened, Nyris?
Sure. Well, I was out in the woods and I happened to go looking for like really nice flowers, for you and and then I thought while I was out there, well, I shouldn't just get it for me. I should also get one for Tony since was my sweetie. And then I thought, well, as I was, heading back, did you know that it rained? The day they left, it rained. I was out there in the rain. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It was just, I was not expecting the rain. It was not what I was expecting when I went out. The
Did you
weather.
did you get
Anyways.
yourself dry, Nyris?
Well, yeah, I did. Also, was lost out there for a bit. But I'm sorry about that. You didn't want me to get lost, and then I got lost, and then was I came back looking a little worse for wear. But I survived, and that is what is important. And it really made me miss my shack. But
Mhm.
we're moving on from that. Moving on, walking. So I gave the flower back to Tony, and then I found out, the two of us just aren't that real compatible. And he was really gracious about it, and said, if we wanted to be in a relationship, he certainly would like it, but it's up to me. And I said, well, we shouldn't be in a relationship because we're not compatible with each other, really. And I came to that after, 2 days of walking in the woods, really. There was a lot of time to be, thinking about, the future and whatnot. And the future that I had wasn't really right, I guess. So that's all. I didn't want to make you, uncomfortable at the tea party by having to be like, oh, this is the person that you're dating. And be like, oh, no, it's not. And so that's all.
Nyris,
Yes.
have you had any food?
No, not yet.
Uh, Adastra is going to very forcefully walk him over to some of the berry patches. There's strawberry and blueberries and blackberries in the guild um, greenhouse,
Oh,
and then
these look.
she is going to start picking them and putting them in Nyris's hand.
Oh, these look truly delicious. While I was out in the woods, I had to kill, like, I don't know what it was. It was an animal of some sort. After, you can starve, not, it will take a bit for you to starve, but I was quite hungry and peckish because I didn't think that it'd take that long to find a flower, but I definitely did just, like, go a little whole hog on the first thing I saw to eat. But berries are much nicer, I will say. And he's
Mhm.
gonna eat one.
Have you had any water, Nyris?
Ah, yes, water I have had because that is important. I did make sure to be sure to drink some water while I was out there. Oh yeah, Adastra has incredible perception.
Yes.
She would be sure to know that he has been crying.
Yes.
But he is smiling and being his usual cheerful self now, at least.
Mhm. Um, she will keep putting berries in his hand until he has eaten probably a good 4, 5 handfuls of berries.
Well, he's eaten a lot of berries, it seems. Well, I feel like I've made you worry about me, and I'm terribly sorry about that.
Nyris,
Yes.
you have called me your friend, correct?
Oh, yes. I do hope we are friends. Okay?
Mhm.
Unless you don't, you got a little wrapped. You got a little wrapped up in
Nyris,
my feelings a little bit.
Nyris,
Yes.
do you know what friends do?
Ah, yes. What is it?
Friends worry about the well-being of their other friends.
Well, I certainly worry about yours a lot. Oh, not a lot, a reasonable amount. I made that promise that I'd look after you.
And I appreciate that promise. Nyris,
Yes.
are you okay, Nyris?
Well, that's a that's certainly a question, isn't it? I'll be okay in a bit, I suppose.
Adastra will just stare at him for probably a good 15 seconds. Her bright, light eyes just staring at his.
No, I will. He lightly reaches out to pat her hand and like, I will be okay. Uh, sometimes relationships just don't work out like you think they do. And while that is sad, I don't think that that's anything to be like broken up too hard about, you see. I can't say that we had a long relationship. It was just, you know, as I said, I looked too really far out into the future and I thought, oh, that's a nice future to have, I guess. It isn't really something meant for me. I've already accepted that about myself.
Nyris,
Yes.
just because one relationship does not work out the way you hope it does not mean another relationship cannot work out the way that you hope it does.
Oh, well, yes, I do understand that bit, but friendships are good. I think I'll believe more in friendships than romance for me. Is all. Some people just aren't, meant for that, and that's all right because, well, I should tell you, I've been alive for about over 300 years, and it's not just, one relationship. Though this would be the first one that got to a point of being like, oh, but he smiles. So it isn't just one, really. And that's fine. I think that being friends with people is quite lovely, really. There are some people that just don't have anyone that wants to hold their hand, and that's okay.
Are you sure it's okay, Nyris?
Oh, I am. I don't like the idea of anyone being sad or upset about it. So it is all right with me.
Nyris,
Yes.
do you consider yourself one of these people who nobody wants to hold their hand?
Oh, yes. That's why I asked my dear undead friend to hold my hand every so often, because I do get a bit lonely sometimes. But, you know, that's just how it is sometimes.
Things being the way they are doesn't mean that we can't wish for them to change.
Yes, I suppose.
And it doesn't mean that they won't change, Nyris.
Yeah, of course not. Of course. Fully, yes. Well, I don't think that it's anything to be too upset about. I mean, like, friends do, share thoughts with and all of that such, but I don't want you to be too worried about it all the same. You understand what I mean? Like, uh, romance being what it is, I did have a chance to really, like, think about stuff and be like, oh, gosh, that was incredibly unfortunate of me, you see. Starting a relationship with someone and being like, oh, it's just been one day of calling each other boyfriends, and you're already thinking like, oh, maybe in a few years we'll be, married with each other in something, and then have other people that you could be introduced to as like, oh, we're also married, and isn't that lovely? And I hope we can all be getting along. And well, that was certainly a nice thought, but it was an incredibly intense thought. And I realized, like, after 2 days of walking around in the woods looking for flowers, that was just quite silly of me. And also, that's putting a lot of expectations on someone else, you understand, and which I think is very unfair of doing to Tony, who's a really nice person. He's a nice person. Everybody really likes him too. And I thought it was really unfair of me to put any sort of expectations on somebody who was just being nice to me.
Nyris,
Yes.
I don't think it's silly of you.
Oh, well, that's kind of you.
It's not necessarily a kindness, it's the truth.
Ah, well, truth is a kind thing then today.
Mm.
But you don't need to worry about my crumbled cookie, as it were. It's, you know, it's okay. It's all right. My little crumbled cookie, he'll be all right. Ah,
Mm.
so I do feel kind of embarrassed now about being like, oh, I want to seduce your roommate now, because, oh, that was a bit embarrassing. I got a little bit wrapped up in the whole feelings of romance and whatnot. And gosh, that's quite silly of me to have done in the first place.
Nyris,
Hmm.
again, it's not silly.
Eh, perhaps, perhaps not.
Mm.
Hmm.
Nyris,
Yes. Yeah.
besides walking around in the woods, what do you like to do for fun?
Oh, I love cooking, and I have a great affection for reading, and I do like plants a lot actually. So I'm happy to be able to always come out here and see the greenhouse with you. What else is there? Oh, well, ruins, but I haven't been able to do that in a long time. And gosh, wouldn't that be lovely to be gone for 3 months without having to see anybody and have dead people to talk to again?
Mm.
But I've endeavored, to change myself just a little bit, to not just, run away, as it were.
If one just runs away from their problems, the problems typically only grow.
Well, unless you wait. If you if you wait like 50 years, most of the people who were related to those problems are dead, and then the, there is no mountain. There's just gravestones, and I think that works out pretty okay sometimes.
That works out only if those who you're running from live shorter than you do.
For the most part, it seems that is how it is with me.
Mm.
Hmm.
It's not how it is for everyone.
Hmm. Eh, fair enough, I suppose. But you know, well, gosh, now I feel bad because I hope that doesn't make you feel too sad about the tea party, since it was supposed to be something fun. And then I just went, I didn't want to make anything uncomfortable for you, but now I feel like I did.
No,
No?
no, Nyris. None of this is your fault.
Doesn't sound quite true, but I will
No.
allow you to continue.
Nyris,
Yes.
you confessed your feelings for someone.
Yes.
They accepted your feelings.
I suppose yes.
Then later on, it was decided that in the long run, you thought that it would not work out. And the
Yes.
other person agreed.
Most assuredly, yes.
Nothing wrong has happened.
True enough.
Not on your part.
Yeah.
Nyris,
Yes.
what kind of things can you bake?
Oh, I can bake quite many things, It's what living for such a long time is. I actually can bake and broil and all sorts of stuff in the kitchen. Like whatever your heart's desired, I can probably make it. Because you see, when I started learning how to cook and all of that, it was to stop myself from being poisoned because that was a great concern of mine. But I also thought, well, one day I hope I have enough friends that I can be like, oh, what would you like? I'll certainly make it. And so I worked really hard on learning on how to make it quite a bit of everything so that when anybody, I became friends with, I could just make something for them. And they'd be like, oh, look, this is all ready for you.
Adastra very quietly has been picking a bunch of blueberries. Nyris,
Yes.
do you know how to make blueberry pie?
Oh, I certainly do.
And she holds out, right now, a small pail of blueberries.
Oh,
Could you show me how to make blueberry pie?
I'd be more than happy to. Do that right now. You're so too tired.
Are you busy right now?
Not at all.
Then then if you would be so kind as to show me.
I shall indeed. Be my pleasure. Would you like me to dimension door us through the kitchen?
I don't think that would be necessary, Nyris. The kitchen is just through those doors there.
Well, I suppose, but one day I'm gonna get you to agree to a dimension door, and it's gonna be a glorious one.
When the need arises,
When,
Nyris.
well, yes, when the need arises, when the need arises. I shall go to make a blueberry pie, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Adastra very quietly ushers Nyris to the kitchen, where they shall make a blueberry pie.
I'll happily show her how. If you like, that can be it.
I think so.
Adastra was the right person to go to. She's here to comfort. Oh.